What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Climb Together podcast. I'm your host, Tony Scorp, here with my co-host, Deception. Deception, say hi.
What up?
We are back for episode 161 of the Climb Together podcast. This bottom half, I would say, is more vulnerable, like Ravens down to Cloud9. I think this bottom half
Yeah,
is more
I
vulnerable
agree.
to
Yeah,
losing.
yeah, bottom six. It's a possibility that we could see one or multiple of the bottom six uh get taken out by a challengers team.
I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this.
It's only been done by 6 different people, but it's a spectacle anytime it's attempted.
We are starting back to where we've been in the past at streaming at 12 p.m. EST on Wednesdays. It's good to be back. It's good to be back. It's been a while since we've been able to stream at this time because of my life being as dynamic as it is. So it feels good to get back to our original podcast time from where we started this almost 5 years ago now, which is just crazy to say.
Yeah.
So, as you guys may have noticed, if you guys are watching this on YouTube, if you guys aren't watching these podcasts on YouTube, please do. I have started.
It'd be fantastic if you watched them on
Oh,
YouTube.
absolutely.
Because
Helps
that's
helps
great for
helps
us.
the channel out, helps boost the podcast and get more people watching. But you guys might have noticed that I've been editing episodes of the podcast. I'm trying out a couple different things, a couple different podcast formats that I've seen across the space, just to kind of elevate our production a little bit. I'm going through an experimental phase in my content creation where I'm trying to figure out what works, what doesn't work. I'm kind of just doing the same thing for a long time, so I'm really trying to evolve myself as a creator and improve on the content that we put out, especially with this podcast, since it is such long running and has the potential of being something really cool.
Yeah.
So I'm changing a few things about it. I've done where it's just we start the podcast, then there's a thing, and then there's a little intro thing that I made, and then we get right into it. There's another one that where I had the intro, then a couple of highlights, then the intro clip, and then right into the podcast. And then the next one that I'm
Dude,
working on.
I love that I figured out how to do like the stream starting or like BRB screen and put random clips on. That's so fun, dude.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, so and then I'm also this one that I'm currently working on right now, that's going up later today. It has a couple highlights from the podcast, just about like each top, like one highlight from each topic we discussed, then the intro, and then
Alright.
the podcast itself. So it's different. I'm trying out some different things because usually we just kind of record and then upload the raw recording, minus an edit or two due to like crashes or maybe just like I had to go to the bathroom or something. So
Yeah.
I'm really trying to
Well,
like,
sometimes you just gotta try stuff, dude.
yeah, I'm trying it up. I'm mixing
Sometimes
it up a little bit.
you just gotta see what works. Like,
Exactly. I'm just mixing it up a little bit. But so that's kind of where we're at with the podcast. Making some improvements. There'll be more. There'll be more. I'm starting summer this week. I have one final today, kinda. It's not a final, it's more of like a reflection evaluation paper thing that I have to do. And then tomorrow I have my last exam in the morning. So after that, I have
oh
graduation
yeah.
and then it's summertime. And then I'm just working one job and then this. So it's going to be very, very cool summer for me. Very exciting stuff. So this is where, when school's not taking my emotional and my mental energy, I put it towards this because my job, I literally clock in, I dissociate for X amount of hours, and then I clock out, and then I come home, and then I'm still energized because I was not a person for 10 hours. So, um, hey, listen, man, that's how you get through food. That's how you get through food service, man. You cannot be fully present in that. You just will not survive. It's so bad. Um, so
I
yeah,
mean, whatever you gotta do, as long as you do a good job and you get everything right, it's like whatever
true.
you gotta do.
So definitely, if you guys are watching this, whether it's live and you've watched maybe one of the episodes where the editing has happened, or if you guys are watching this later on, and let me know what you guys like, which ones you guys like. You know, let me get your input on that aspect, the new editing style for these. I'm work we're it's a work in progress, so the better more I do it, the better I'm getting at it again. And um, I haven't really edited a podcast before, so like this, so it takes a little practice and a little trial and error. So with that, I just want to kind of get that out of the way here at the first little bit, just because you know it was a housekeeping item, I guess, for today.
Yeah.
But so I think we should really just hop into CDL quick, do that, and then there's a couple bigger current event topics that we should probably discuss. Um, so how does that sound? Like a good plan?
Yeah, it sounds pretty good. The only issue that we kind of have this week is there's no way we can really do a bracket.
Yeah. So
Because this major obviously works like very different than like normal majors, and they haven't, to my knowledge at least, I tried looking um since the CDL like it started, like since they posted groups and stuff, I tried looking to see if like they had a bracket or like they at least told us like which team would go where in a bracket. Yep, we don't know nothing. So
um we kind of it's like we kind of got something, but it's not a lot. So we're just gonna kind of go through and talk about this a little bit, just to kind of like make sure we're all on the same page here. Go over it. So this weekend is DreamHack Atlanta, um, for which is the next Call of Duty major. We've
this is the
got
phase major
groups.
technically.
Correct. Yes. So we've got groups locked here. Um, can I zoom in on these or no?
It's not like I mean, obviously FaZe has moved to Vegas, but they're going with the pink theme, and it's kind of hosted by FaZe. Kind of weird that we're still in Atlanta, but that's just how it
You know
shook out
what?
this season, I guess.
Sometimes that's just how it be. So it's kind of hard to see depending on your screen size. So I'll kind of walk you through it. So up here on the top left, we've got Group A, which is Optic, Omit from the Challengers bracket, from the Challengers League. We've got G2, we got Surge. So Optic is going to go against Omit. And so there's a winners bracket, and then there's a losers bracket, and then, well, a winners and an elimination. So you play,
Win two before you lose two.
yes. Um,
So
so the winner from each of these will play for a spot in the actual bracket. So we'll get more into that. So this is like the play-in groups, which we have seen before. This is kind of similar to the old style of COD, where you're put into groups and then you play the groups, and then that'll dictate your tournament, like how your tournament goes. And then in Group B, we have Koi versus Huntsman from the Challengers bracket. Then we have Ravens versus Heretics. And then for Group C, it's going to be Thieves versus Notorious from the Challengers bracket. Then Gentlemaids versus Breach. And then for Group D, we have FaZe versus, who is that? Um, who? Rocky Sports. Or yeah, Rocky Sports. Sorry, I couldn't. It
yeah,
was too small to read. And then we have Falcons versus Cloud9. To close out Group D. So these teams will play through these smaller brackets. And then have a kind of like a group finals, and the winner of those will play into, hold on, um the this
yeah. So
so oh yeah,
it's
yeah.
basically like it's win two before you lose two. So it's basically just whichever team like wins there. It's like the winners bracket. Whoever gets into that uh whoever gets into that winners bracket is probably like almost guaranteed to make it.
Mhm.
Um unless something drastic happens, because it's just you just got to win too. Like it sounds it sounds difficult, but you just got to win too. And for these challengers teams, especially like We saw it at the Esports World Cup last season. For these challengers teams, when you put them in a situation where it's not like a full tournament and it's just we got to win one series or two series, it's like
Mhm.
they can do it. They can
Yeah,
absolutely
they definitely
upset some
can.
of these CDL teams.
And I mean, especially when we look at like, we look at the bottom half of the board here.
Well,
These
and we
top,
got some good challengers teams this season, like too.
yeah,
Like we this is like some really good challengers talent that we got down here.
100%.
Um,
I mean,
I
Surge,
mean,
Heretic. I would say this bottom half, I would say is more vulnerable. Like Ravens down to Cloud9. I think this bottom
yeah,
half is more
I
vulnerable
agree.
to
Yeah,
losing.
I think yeah, bottom six. It's a possibility that we could see one or multiple of the bottom six uh get taken out by a challengers team.
Specifically the
I would
bottom.
love it if it's going to be difficult. I think for the problem is I think that we see challengers teams make upsets, but do they actually get into the bracket? Like,
Mhm.
I would love it if a challengers team actually made it into the bracket, but I don't know. We'll see.
Oh, we got some added additions to the talent crew because there's gonna be multiple different streams for this one too, which I think is really
Yeah,
cool.
this is
Cause
really gonna feel like an old like COD event.
yeah, so
Um,
we've got the major three, but then we've got the challengers, and then we've also got a Warzone Resurgence series going on as well, um, which is pretty cool. So there's gonna be uh streams, then there's gonna be a main stream, a Bravo stream, a Charlie stream, and a Delta stream. So they had to bring on some extra talent. If we're gonna see Attach on the stage, which I really like. Um, Bryce
we
Tacular,
love Bryce. I miss
Goj,
Bryce, dude.
Spider Tiff, Dandro, Enigma, Reflections. Love to see the female representation in there. Um, go Spider Tiff. We're rooting for you, girl. You're gonna kill this weekend. Um, so I think looking at this, I don't know. Um, we don't even have like we have nothing. We literally have nothing like to go on. So
We just gotta find like so where I we gotta go back to the
the verses.
yeah, we got to figure out like who's in what group. Yeah, here we go.
Okay,
Now we know. Okay. So,
hold on. I'm going
the biggest
to.
thing that we can probably do this event obviously is just predict who we think's going to get out of the groups.
Okay.
Uh
Aha! I found it. Zoom. Zoom.
Also, there's an interesting something interesting about this event. Um this would be a fun trivia question. I want you to take a guess at when the last time we had two optic organizations, two optic teams in the same tournament
Hasn't it been like
in COD.
um
Because this is the first time in a while.
I know. Hasn't it been like 10 years or something like that? Like I don't know
It's
if
been
10
over
years.
10 years. It's the last time that two optic teams were in a tournament together in COD was MLG World Finals 2015. The last like technically official MLG event that COD ever had, and that was the last event in Advanced Warfare before we went to CWL or anything.
So I was
Um,
close, is what you're
it was
saying.
MLG World Finals
I was close.
2015.
Oh, I said 10 years. It's
Optic
11.
Gaming won that event. Optic Nation actually played pretty well at that event too. Um,
So look at that.
but
But I
that
do
was the last time.
I do like the fact that they're adding in, these four challengers teams. It's kind of the aspect that we've been missing for a long time with the league is the fact that there's just no upward mobility for these challengers teams to be able to like showcase themselves against the top 12, and that are in the CDL. So I like that this event kind of brings like the top 4 to be able to play. So looking at
Yeah, I mean,
winners.
there's obvious upset potential. I mean, a scary thing for us Optic fans, judging by I mean, obviously, it's not the same. It's not the same team, not the same situation. But like, judging by what happened the last time we had an event with challengers teams, Omit was the team that upset FaZe at EWC. So,
Hmm.
I would not be,
I don't want to
I would
count them
not
out.
be coming in here like, if I'm Optic, I would not be coming in here like, oh, it's just a challengers team. We'll just beat
No,
them real quick.
no. I mean, I do think Optic is gonna win. I think they're gonna win out and they're gonna go. They're gonna be first seed. Um, I do believe that. I just don't think it's gonna
Yeah,
be.
honestly,
It's not gonna be
out of
super
these
easy.
four, I think it's Optic and G2.
Yeah,
Like I hate it for Omit. I think they're most likely gonna lose to Optic. I think they can beat Surge though.
yeah. I think
I think-
it's. I would say it's gonna be 70. It's gonna be 100% Optic moving forward, and then like 70-30 on G2 and Emit, like 70% G2,
yeah,
30%
it's
Omit.
tough. Like
Like it's
G2, the way
still
they've been playing as of late, I almost feel like Omit could upset them. But like G2 find a way to at least like make it into the bracket of lands. So
yeah.
I don't know.
I think it's a possibility that they don't, but the odds are in their favor. Vancouver Surge, you're not going through. Sorry, you've
Yeah,
been voted off the
I don't know if
island.
Surge win a series here. I mean, you gotta hope they play well against Omit, but like I don't know, man.
They've been voted off the island at this point. Like I don't want to waste my breath, to be honest. Um, but so moving on to Group B, we've got Koi versus Huntsman, Ravens versus Heretics. I say Ravens are definite not moving forward. Um, unless yeah, no, I just don't see them moving forward here. Heretics, um I think Heretics move forward. They're gonna be
Yeah.
I don't know if they're gonna be first seed or second seed, but they're definitely gonna make it out of here.
I hate it for the Huntsman, but I think it's gonna be Koi and Heretics, dude.
Yeah.
I do think that if the Huntsmen get to play against the Ravens, that'll be a really good series.
Hmm.
But if the Huntsmen have to play against Koi or Heretics, I fear that we will not see a great showing out of the Huntsmen.
Yeah.
I hope the Huntsmen do well. It would be if as a fan of the organization, my hope is that the Huntsmen upset and make the bracket. But realistically, I don't know if that's happening.
Yeah. But we'll have to wait and see. I think it just depends on how they play against Koi. Will dictate uh if they move forward. To be honest.
I will say the Huntsmen being a CDL affiliated organization with Optic, they do seem to not necessarily have better scrims, but they often have been getting scrims with like CDL teams. So it's a possibility that they may have the best reps of any challengers team. Uh, so that helps them. But it's like we're going to LAN. Like I know these challengers guys, like a lot of them are experienced on LAN, especially with Huntsman having like veteran like Brack on their team, but I don't know, man. Like challengers team playing CDL teams on LAN, like we'll see. I mean, like I said, the big thing is the fact that we're going off of what happened last year at EWC where Omit kind of had a crazy like upset run a little bit. Uh, and I would hope the Huntsman can do that, but we'll see. I do think realistically, if I had to pick a challengers team to make an upset and make the bracket, it probably would be Huntsman.
Yeah.
They obviously they have not like they haven't won a whole lot in like challengers, but like they have a lot of reps and they're playing against way more CDL teams than challengers teams, so they could really surprise these CDL teams maybe.
Yeah. So, looking over at Group C, Um, we have LA Thieves versus Notorious. Then we have Gentlemates versus Breach. Um, I don't really know a lot about Notorious. I've never really seen them play. I don't really watch a lot of challengers, so I'm not quite sure. But I think Thieves is kind of hot right now, so I want to say Thieves and Gentlemates.
Yeah, to me this is pretty cut and dry. It's thieves and gentlemen. I don't think. See, the thing that the Thieves have going for them is the fact that they have Neum,
Yeah.
and Neum has played against these challengers teams. So he is maybe out of all the players, like him and Kips have probably got the most knowledge of like how to play against these challengers teams out of
Mhm.
any CDL team in the league. So because they played on challengers this season on this game versus these players and challengers. Um so I think that kind of advantage will help the Thieves, but I just also think that Thieves and Gentlemates are just too good for this bracket. Like I know that Gentlemates were kind of slipping, and that's why they've been placed in this bracket. But them and Thieves in the same bracket is just a nightmare for any other team that would have gotten placed in this bracket. It doesn't matter what team gets put in here. Thieves and Gentlemates in the same bracket together, like I don't know if there's any way you can beat those two. I don't think there's any way they don't advance.
Yeah. I think that yeah. So, I just think I don't know. I just really don't know like these bottom two challenge teams I really don't know. So like with Rock, I don't think they move forward. I do think they beat I the one thing okay, I will say this. I do think these
Nah, I
challengers
think Rock
teams
play Cloud9, and I think Rock beat them. To be
yeah.
honest,
And I think that's the
I
kind of
think Rock can get them out of there.
I think it's a 3-0 to BH for that one. But I think Falcons and FaZe do move on here. But one thing I
Yeah,
do want to
that'll
say
be an interesting one. The providing our predictions are correct, the Omit Surge series and the Rock Cloud9 series will be like those will be like must watch because if Surge and Cloud9 get beaten by these challengers teams, you just gotta sit here and think like, dude, like can we just like get some challengers teams in the league, dude?
yeah. I think the thing is like with all in all these cases in all the groups, I think um each challengers team will beat out the lowest team in each group. I do see that as a high possibility. Like Breach losing to Notorious, Surge losing to Omit, Ravens losing to Huntsman, and
Well,
Cloud9
and
definitely
that's
losing
kind
to
of the thing
Rock.
about the split in the CDR right now between like the best teams and the worst teams. Is like these really good teams. It's like if y'all are on your game, there's no way a challengers team beats you. Uh, but like these bottom like four or five CDL teams, like especially the teams that are going, they're gonna have a chance to go up against these challengers teams. Like if you get beaten by these challengers teams, it's like, bro, like do you even belong in this league? Like, like what's going on? Um, yeah, I genuinely do think I think we see at least one challengers team win a series against the CDL teams, but I think there's a chance that multiple of them win a series, and at least one of them may be able to upset and just make it into the bracket.
Hmm.
Um, I mean, I hope so for for entertainment purposes, but we'll see.
Yeah. I think I definitely think I do see it. So I'm very excited to see how this kind of pans out in this system. You know, it's new for the CDL to try something like this, which I'm really excited to see them, you know, starting to look at different formats because obviously the one that they've been doing just isn't working. Um, but as far as the rest of it goes, I don't know. I really don't want to move. We really can't make predictions on the bracket because you know there is no way to see how the bracket would play. So we'd just be probably wrong anyway. Um, and so yeah, so that's where that's kind of looking.
It'll be a very exciting major. Like this is they've really given us a lot of good reasons to look forward to majors. Like, um, I know that like major one was more of like a traditional conventional major, but I mean we had all the league matches going up to major two, and then we played major two in the UK, which
mm,
was, obviously like the crowd's always crazy for that. And then we have this pro am for DreamHack in Atlanta, which has got this totally new bracket. We're putting challengers teams against CDL teams again. And then the next event is a major in Paris that's going to also have a different bracket, different setup. compared to like normal CDL events. So they're definitely like they're doing a great job of giving us reasons to watch rather than like, oh, it's the same standard major we had since Major 1 every time.
It's not even that. I think it's just because it's so, I don't know, it's so stagnant, and like the way that their structure is just doesn't provide the kind of competitive results that people are looking for, that we've gotten from the in the past from different Call of Duty events. So now,
I hope
they're kind of
my
playing
hope is
around with
that if
that.
this event goes well, my hope is that the CDL invests in this system. Because granted it's not the open bracket tournament style that I wish they would do, but this if we could have like imagine if we did this same like pro am type event every major, and the way that challengers teams got in is they did like every weekend they had like an online qualifier. Like that would
Mhm.
be a way better system than what we have right
Yeah.
now.
I think it's definitely like, I think I I think that they're playing around with different ways that this could work, and different methods that they could possibly use moving forward to
Yeah.
make it more dynamic as a league. And I think that's why we're seeing multiple different, these two different majors trying out different methods as far as like, um, how they play through. Which is good
Yeah.
because it means they're taking in the input that us as a community has been giving them for literally since the beginning. But I do literally since the beginning, but I do know for a fact that they probably will not deviate from the main 12 teams being a consistent in the leagues. And it's for the main reason of money. Honestly, like it is because of the money. These teams are, it's not super profitable to be in a game like Call of Duty because of these teams existing and how much money, they have to
Yeah.
spend to operate in Call of Duty. And I don't think
Well,
Call
and
of Duty's
like
gonna throw away
while
that
I
money.
wish there were more teams in the league, I don't necessarily mind like I wouldn't mind how the league works in terms of like the big teams that are in it and the league matches and whatnot. I wouldn't mind that if the major was just like a huge open event every time.
Mhm.
But it's like the fact that you're still keeping these big COD events where amateur players used to show up and just wow people and then get signed to these teams and also do well for these teams. And that almost never happens anymore because they don't get a chance to show it at like the events like they used to, which was the prime way they would show it. That just it doesn't feel good. Like I would be more okay with the league having these teams in this system if all the events were like huge open events with like hundreds of teams showing up.
Mhm.
I would also like I know that this would be tough for I know this would probably be tough for like the top 12 teams, but in my opinion, I wish that they would I wish they would allow uh the top 4 challengers teams um if you like it almost would be like a relegation system but a little different where it's not like teams the top 12 are gonna like they have a chance to get knocked out, but like imagine the league expanded to 16 teams but they just took the top 4 challengers teams and put them and like they did like an event and it was like if you guys whichever teams finish in the top 4 of this event get to play in the league for a season. um like it would that would be really nice. Like, cause imagine like if imagine these 4 teams playing this well got to play in this event, and then because they played well and got into this event, they get to play the next split going up to Major 4. Um, that would be, I think that would be kind of fun. Um, it's just I still wish that they would just do like big open events with like hundreds of teams. I
Oh
think
yeah,
that
that
would
would,
help
that
more
would
than anything. But
100%. Yeah, I just the thing is it's just so tricky because they are not in a good financial position, and so I don't think they want to give up that money, that
see,
consistent money.
See,
It's about the
I
money at
kind
this
of
point.
like I understand that, but also like it's crazy that like It's crazy that nowadays we're all like, oh, they're not in a good financial position, and we're all talking about money when they had way less to work with 10 years ago, and we're putting on events like that.
Yeah, I mean that's true, but the thing is like they took this shift into the game is in such a fragile state now. It's a big risk to go back to the old way because there isn't that guaranteed income, and it's gonna take a while for people to get back on board,
See,
and
I kind
it's a
of
risk.
understand that from like a business perspective, but like I think from an entertainment perspective and from what people would like to watch, it's not much of a risk at all. Like
No, I
I
think
feel like I feel like by staying with this system and like not just trying the open event with hundreds of teams, you're taking more of a risk on falling further deep into your league failing than just taking the jump and watching how all these fans like flock to it and are like, "Oh my god, this is great."
yeah. Well, I mean the thing is when a company gets to a certain level, it really is about the money. It's about, how can we save money? How can we, guarantee money year after year,
Yeah.
month after month. And the esports industry is in a really fragile state right now. I mean, it's the industry's not super self-sustaining yet. Um, we were almost there with COVID, and the pandemic kind of booming up a little bit, but um, since everything's kind of gone back to normal, it it hasn't maintained that level of prominence, and so it's in a fragile state. So I think they're trying to make the best financial move that they think is possible, and for the most part, a lot of these boards are sat with people that aren't super proficient in gaming. They have money and they have stock and they have share and they know
Yeah.
the now. They don't know the 20, 30 years of past. They don't know how esports started, where it started, how it started. They may know some of it, but they don't know it. Um and that's kind of the issue. So,
Yeah, it's just like I wish that they would at least try it once. Like
mhm.
it would be especially with like next year being MW4, which should bring some like a lot of the more casual fans back. It would be amazing if they were just like, "You know what? Let's try this for Major 1."
Yeah. I mean, I do like that they did it with this, where they kind of um are trying different things. I think they should continue to do that
Yeah, I definitely like
and
this.
experience. I
This
think they
if
should
we could
continue
have at
this.
least a pro-am every major, I would be down. Like
I think they should keep experimenting and look at the numbers, do it a few times, do each version a few times over the next 2 years, um, and then see how how they stack up against each other and how they relate back to the old system. Which ones are doing better, which ones are doing worse, as far as viewership and
yeah, I'm
others
definitely
and
excited for the
attendance.
pro-am. I'm gonna be trying to watch all these games. It's gonna be crazy. Like it's gonna it's gonna bring me back to like when they did the old events, and I was just like, and I was trying to be like, oh, when is this? Where's this stream? What's this? What are we watching now? And like
Mhm.
switching between all the streams.
Yeah, I think
Oh
some KPIs for them to kind of keep in mind as these events kind of go forward is just like viewership per game across the board. And then especially on the teams that aren't the top four, that aren't Optic, that aren't, LA Thieves, that aren't FaZe, like teams that don't normally have like the big turnout. I think that's kind of where watching the viewership there, I think, is going to be the most important like measurement of how these different versions work, along with
yeah, if
um
we see the average viewership go up for this event, that'd be great.
and also measuring like how well the CDL, like how well the challengers teams do against all these other like CDL teams. I think looking at that as well will definitely add some perspective on how much more often these teams should be going head to head other than just at the EWC. So I think there's a bunch of other ones too, but I don't want to bore you with KPI bullshit. It's kind of like it's like really interesting to me, but I know some people are like, "What is even a KPI?" It's a key performance indicator. Um or yeah, that's what it
Well,
is.
I mean, we've talked about that a lot. Not not specifically referring to that, but
Mhm.
that's been kind of what we've discussed about the CDL basically the entirety of this podcast is like
Mhm.
constantly being like, well, like how is this doing? How is that doing? What do they need to change? Like
Yeah.
it's been how it's been for a long time.
Mhm. So we'll see how that goes. And we'll touch base next week and discuss it more. But I'm very excited. Friday and it's
It's gonna be fun. This is gonna
gonna be
be
a good
a
event.
fun major, I think.
That starts tomorrow, right? Or is it Friday? Oh, it's
No,
Friday.
it starts Friday.
Oh, sweet.
This is an old school Friday, Saturday, Sunday event.
Nice. All right. It starts at 1 p.m. Oh my god, I can watch. Let's go. I can watch for a little bit before I go to work.
Yeah.
Amazing. Amazing. All right. So moving on to our next topic. Kind of I saw this this is like really current. Um it literally happened a couple hours ago, but um Fortnite announced probably the oop I'm moving stuff. I'm moving stuff. Okay. Fortnite announced probably the weirdest collab I have ever seen them announce. Uh it's Overwatch times Fortnite, which I'm I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this. But I feel like it's
I
really
my thing is like if this is my thing. If this is one of those events where it's like we're playing regular BR but we have the potential to be Overwatch characters, I don't know how good that would be. But like if this was like some limited thing where it was like, "Oh, you can play like Overwatch but it's Fortnite style." That'd be kind of fun.
so here. We've got some gameplay footage. So it looks like it is Fortnite is the base, and you play as Overwatch characters in Fortnite. Um, using their abilities. We only see Tracer in this clip, with her sprinting around. So I'm thinking maybe there's select abilities, from each character that you can utilize. Or maybe even the gun itself might have the ability, for you to utilize. I don't know. I don't really know. To be honest, I
See,
think
this is where I think that it kind of would be fun. It's like as a controller player that primarily plays with PC people, so I never have aim assist. If I can play like Overwatch style gameplay but have aim assist and it's like Fortnite aim assist, which is pretty good. Yeah, I'd be all for this. I'd be hype.
so. It's gonna
Granted,
be
like to the average Overwatch player, it kind of seems underwhelming because it's literally just it's like you're playing Overwatch. It's like Overwatch got a Fortnite DLC, and you're
hmm
just playing on Fortnite maps. But
so it
I
looks
mean,
like
if they make the mechanics feel like Overwatch, but maybe just slightly different to like kind of feel like Fortnite as well, then feel like it'll be pretty good.
yeah, so it looks like they're adding Mercy, Tracer, Diva, and Genji, Genji into the game. So Mercy, Tracer, Diva, Genji. So it might just so it looks like I mean for these characters I feel like it's we're not like we're not rolling around a big hamster ball around the map. So these are like normal size characters that fit the Fortnite like
Yeah.
size and stuff. So it looks like
Well, and
um
it's Baby Diva, which is kind of interesting, but you know.
so there's four skins, which are the ones I just listed, three emotes, and a bunch more cosmetics. There's going to be weapons, landmarks, and Overwatch NPCs, quests and rewards along with the Act 3 theme, and then a Porsche SUV with Overwatch decals. It's all coming tomorrow. Um, so I think it's more um so these are the skins, and then they're adding in their weapons, their main weapons as ground loot, and then there'll be some new what am I trying to say here? New locations. I don't know. I was gonna say the short like POIs, new POIs. Jesus Christ. Some new POIs that are in relation to Overwatch. Like where they say there was they were talking about like where is it? I lost it. It's gone. Um, there's gonna be like a tower. Yeah, like so like new POIs. Oh,
Okay.
new POI here. I think is a new one. There's a clock tower that's one of the maps. I try to find it. Hold on. It's in. I don't think it's. Is it in this one? I don't think it's in this one. I think it's in the other one. Um. I don't want to hear the music. Let's see here. Dun 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 dun. Where is it? Yeah, the in the back of this image. That tower is from one of the maps, um,
Yeah.
in Overwatch. I don't remember off the top of my head which one, but it is. Uh, cue the clip. Sorry, I just saw your DM. So yeah, this will be pretty cool actually. I think um this is like when was the last time we saw a game collab that went this far for Fortnite? Because I remember they did Halo, right? But it was just the skins, and
I don't even
um
remember them doing Halo, so that probably
yeah,
answers the question.
yeah. So I think this is probably the biggest uh, game collab they've ever done. I mean, there was like when they did like the whole Fortnite like reloaded kind of thing where they added in all those mini games and everything like that, which was like Guitar Hero ish esque with the band, and then the Rocket League racing one, and just like different you
That
know
was for the most part though, that was like mainly like all kinds of different actual modes. Like this
yeah.
is this is straight like they're injecting this straight into the BR,
Yeah.
so
So this will be interesting, seeing these types of weapons used and these characters used from a different video game. And honestly, it kind of like testifies to the comeback of Overwatch. I mean, we've been seeing this game come back ever since they rebranded it from Overwatch 2 back to Overwatch. And I think this collab with Fortnite is gonna really put them back in a good spot as a game. Overwatch has had some rocky times in the past few years due to a numerous amount of things, from the game just getting stale, and then Overwatch 2 kind of flopping, and so them kind of like doing this resurgence, and comeback of the game, I think is gonna be really great to see this once conglomerate of an esport in a game. I mean, hell, like I remember I this tells you how much of a little esports nerd I am. On like family occasions, I would like hide from my family and go in the living room, turn on the TV, and watch Overwatch esports because it was just like on like TV. It was just streaming on television, and so and then my family would come and be like, "What are you watching?" And I'd be like, "I'm watching video games." And they're like, "Why would you watch?" I don't know. Then it went into a whole downward spiral of like, "Why would you watch someone play video games when you can just do it yourself?" This is different, Grandma. This is different. Why watch basketball when you can just go play it yourself? Huh? That's what I thought. Anyway, um, so it'll be this will be interesting. I mean, especially with the fact that Marvel Rivals has been a really good rival for Overwatch, as it has a lot of the same base mechanics of being a hero shooter.
yeah.
Um, so it's good. It's good
Well,
to
and
see
it's
them
quite
kind of.
literally a hero shooter because you're injecting Marvel superheroes into a game where, like, theoretically, like if I were like before Marvel Rivals came out, if you were to ask me like how do you feel like we could put the entire MCU into a game, I'd be like, you should just do like a hero shooter. That'd probably be the best way to do it.
Yeah. Um. Sorry, I just got an email. I didn't. I was supposed to go to this like. There's sidebar. There's like this thing called the lavender graduation that they do at some colleges, where if you're a part of the
What?
LGBTQ plus community, you get to have you they do like a separate graduation just so you can like for people that have different names and what's on their birth certificate, they can have their like chosen name called as they walk across the stage and um everything's very like affirming and supportive. And it was last night, and I decided not to go because I had some stuff come up with my sisters. And so I just got an email saying that I have a rainbow tassel waiting for me that I can go pick up at our student union, which is really, really cool. So, sorry, just got distracted. Anyway, back on topic. But yeah, no, it's really cool. I think, um, I don't know. I'm glad to see, this is a really cool thing. I don't think we've ever really seen this from a game. Especially, with Fortnite being at this caliber, I think this is the first time that we really had this specific type of crossover happen where it's more than just
Yeah.
skins, where there's, POIs and guns and well weapons. I'm sure you can use like Genji's sword and then just like the different things in Fortnite, which would be really cool. Honestly, it kind of makes me want to play it just to see. I'm just curious on like how they're implementing this and how it's gonna feel. Because I've played both games. I played Overwatch for a long time, and I was actually really obsessed with Overwatch for a long time. I would play for like hours. Like I'd sit in like the living. This was before I had my own setup. Like back before I took this seriously, and moved
Yeah.
to set up into my room. I'd play on the Xbox that my parents had hooked up to like the main TV in the living room. So when they would go out and do whatever they did, which was probably drinking, but I would sit in the living room and I'd, distract my sisters with something or hand them a controller that was unplugged. And I would sit and I would play this game for like 8 hours a day. Like, I kid you not, I treated this game like a full time job. Overwatch, Call of Duty. Like, between those two games, like, I was employed fully. I just wasn't getting paid. But I had a job to do, and it was to win. And so yeah, no, this is really cool. I'm definitely gonna give this a shot. Try out because it looks really fun. Um, I guess we do have time for that last. Do you want to talk about David Vonderhaar and then quickly touch on the
Oh
indie
yeah,
series
dude,
and then
bro. I'm excited. I'm excited to see what. Well, I have been excited ever since Vaughn. Basically, like Vaughn left Treyarch and kind of just went silent for a while, and then he announced this Bullet Farm Games thing, and it kind of has been dormant since he announced that. It's been probably like a year and a half
mm-hmm.
since he announced that.
I kind of forgot
Um,
existed low key.
yeah, we really didn't know what was gonna happen. Um, Apparently they've been working on a game and they lost funding from NetEase, which uh, I mean, depending on how you feel about NetEase, that could be a good thing, could be a bad thing.
Yeah.
Um, but apparently a private investor group has now funded the studio, and now that this news kind of broke and nobody really knew what was going on, and Vaughn kind of confirmed that they are working on a they're working on a shooter title. It's basically the way that he described it is it was like a shooter, but it wasn't your traditional shooter game. Um, and um, he said it's expected to be ready within 3 years, which is kind of crazy development time. But honestly, like if Vaughn has a good team and he's given that amount of time to make something happen, we could have something good on our hands here. Um, I know it's quite a distance away, and I would say that it'll be at least 2 to 2.5 years before we hear or see anything concrete about this game, unless it gets leaked. But um, I think that for people who are fans of old Treyarch and what Vaughn did for the COD games, I think you should be excited for this game,
Hmm.
and you should be on the lookout eventually for when stuff comes out about this game because
I,
I definitely, at least on the surface, like I'm looking forward to it because I kind of knew that Vaughn would probably do some sort of like shooter type game, but it seems like he's going in a direction with it that like where he can have a lot of freedom and he can kind of do what he wants. Um, so that should make this pretty good.
yeah. I mean, I definitely think it's gonna be a good game. It kind of just depends on timing of when they release it. We don't want another X-Defiant situation on our hands. Um, so I think it's definitely a doable and a good game. And
Well, and hopefully with them taking 3 more years on it still after it already probably have been in development for at least a year, year and a half. Hopefully, they're a little more prepared,
mhm.
and they're not working with Ubisoft, so that helps.
Yeah, it's true. It definitely does help. Um, I was not ready. I was not ready for that uh comment, but that's true. Yeah. Um. Uh. Sorry, my brain is just farting right now. I think it's gonna be a great game, and honestly, it might come at the time where COD will might be fading out. Like if COD continues on this downward collide, like downward decline that they've been on, and Battlefield really hasn't seen a consistent success since its launch. Like yes, it was successful in the beginning, no doubt. And yes, it's a great game, but it's not been a consistent like forefront, especially after the recent release of Call of Duty. So it'll be interesting to see like if Call of Duty can't get their crap together. This might be where all the old COD heads kind of defer to,
Yeah, this
and
very well, like it's kind of like I kind of don't want to make the comparison because of how much love I had for the game and how sad I was when it went away. But this could be like this could be like the X Defiant to COD 2.0 thing, where it's
yeah.
like if this game is super popular, which it's supposed to be, it was confirmed that it's supposed to be a multiplayer game. So we're looking at having like a shooter with multiplayer in it. Um, if it's got the potential, it very well could kind of have that same effect where it's like, oh, we got something that could compete with COD here. Hold on, and it's made by ex COD devs. Wait a minute.
And I think the main downfall of X Defiant was the fact that it's not because of the fact that it was a bad game, because I think we can all, both Deception and I, can agree, and along with a lot of other people that played it, it was a good game. I think it was just the fact of the timing, the speed of development. I think those two things really put a dampener on the game's success as a whole.
Well, and you could tell that Ubisoft had like a big role in
Yeah,
that.
I think if they had released, in Q3, or even Q4, shortly after that beta test that they had over the summer, because it was extremely successful. Like everybody was
Yeah, I
loving it.
really wish that after they did that test in like August, after they did that test in August of 2023, I really really wish that like Mark Rubin would have just been like, "Hey, like we understand that the game has some issues. We're going to be working through that, but we're going to drop the game in early access and y'all can just play it."
Hmm. I
Like,
think it just the timing just killed the game, and it was that one aspect that just sent it to the end. It's unfortunate, but that's just kind of how it is sometimes. But hopefully Bullet Farms can learn from the same um learn
hopefully.
from that
I mean,
experience.
with them having a private investor group, this is basically almost like an indie project. So they kind of, if they kind of can do whatever they want for the most
Mm,
part. So, um, hopefully that helps them out.
yeah.
Um,
All right,
and we'll see. We'll see what
I'll
happens.
let you cover this last one because I don't really know shit about racing, but This is all you,
So
deception.
this is gonna be huge since we're all about promoting women. Catherine Legg is it was announced late last night, really late. It was like midnight for me when they announced this. But Catherine Legg is going to attempt the double on May 24th. So for people that don't know what the double is, obviously, um, most people who are even just sports fans who aren't really racing fans will know what the Indy 500 is. It's probably the most recognized American motorsports race in the world.
Hmm.
Um, but they always ran that on Memorial Day weekend, and for the longest time, NASCAR has also ran their longest race of the season, the Coca-Cola 600 in Charlotte, on Memorial Day weekend as well. And for the longest time, since they both like to run their races on Sundays, the Indy 500 and the Coke 600 are on the same day. Um, and starting um, starting with John Andretti was the first driver to do this. And there have only she will only be the sixth person ever to do this. Starting with John Andretti, it became a thing where there were some guys who were in NASCAR that wanted to try IndyCar and vice versa. Guys that were driving in IndyCar that wanted to try NASCAR. And they started this thing called the double. It's rare, but when it happens, it is a big deal. Um, so basically, the way it's gonna work is Catherine Legg has been in IndyCar for a while, and she made her first NASCAR start last season, and she has made intermittent starts in NASCAR since then. Um, the way that this is gonna work is when we get to Sunday on May 24th, Catherine Legg is going to run the Indy 500, and provided she finishes that race, she will have ran 500 miles already. When the Indy 500 finishes, she is immediately going to get out of the Indy car. She's going to hop on a plane, go to Charlotte, and she's going to get prepared for the NASCAR race later that night. And then she is going to run the Coke 600. And if providing she finishes that, she will have ran 600 more miles, which means she will have raced 1,100 miles in one day.
That's a lot.
Um,
That's a lot.
and like I said, she's only the sixth person to ever do this. And she is the first woman to ever attempt it. There have there have been a number of attempts. Like I said, there was only there. This is going to only be the sixth person to do it, sixth different person. But there have been multiple attempts by certain people, and there have only been a few times where people have actually finished the entire 1,100 miles. Like it's one thing to attempt it; it's another thing to finish it. Um,
Hmm.
and she is going to be looking to do the double, which is
She's
going to
got
be
this. She's
very
got this.
interesting.
I've never watched racing in my life other than just passing by on a TV, but I believe in her. Why? Because one thing I know is like women do not accept something unless they are like they have like a good feeling that they can do it. It's just the way that the society's built. You know, like women want to make sure that before they do something, they want to succeed. And I believe in her because hell, she's probably like she doesn't want to fail. Like she knows that if she fails, she is like it's going to look it's going to create this image for all women in racing, not even just in NASCAR but across the board, or not even in just Indy but across the board. Like all different types of racing. And so
Yeah,
I just know that that kind of weight that it's not like a weight that we're putting on her, but it's a weight that she feels that is just inherently put on her
yeah.
for just existing as a woman and being a pioneer in the space. So I believe that she's gonna do it. And if she doesn't, you know what? She fucking attempted it and is probably gonna do a great job. So
Well, and it's not easy to finish the double anyway.
no.
So just attempting it is a good attempt. I mean, obviously, like it'll be tough because obviously there are the thing that has kind of plagued. Well, it plagued Kyle Larson last year when he tried it. Was weather. Um, Kyle Larson was not able to officially finish the double because the Indy 500 got delayed due to rain, and he did finish. He did finish the the Indy 500 in 2024, but didn't finish the NASCAR race. So he went back in 2025, and like I said, it got delayed by rain. He ended up wrecking out of the Indy 500, so he didn't even get to finish it. And then he ended up getting to Charlotte for the NASCAR race, and the NASCAR race was also plagued by rain. He arrived at Charlotte during a rain delay that ended up ending the race, so he didn't even get to run a lap in Charlotte. So, um, it's not easy to finish this. There are a lot of factors that have to go into this, and a lot of very specific timing that has to happen for you to be able to make this work. So, providing everything goes smoothly, Catherine Legg should be able to attempt this and to hopefully complete it. Um, and I mean, like I said, it's only been done by 6 different people, but it's a spectacle anytime it's attempted. Um, and this was a pretty surprising announcement because we had like it's like every year um we kind of like look for this because it was done a lot in the 90s and early 2000s, and then it stopped for like 10 years, and people stopped trying to do the double, and now it's kind of started to come back where people have started trying it more. And this year, when we heard that Kyle Larson was not going to be doing it, we were all like, "Well, I guess nobody's doing the double because nobody else was like looking to do it." And then, what do you know? At like midnight last night, like I said, this got announced. So this was pretty surprising, but it's going to be exciting that we have somebody trying the double again.
Yeah. So we'll wait and see. We'll update you guys with her performance, I'm sure. That's definitely going to have to be a deception update for us because I genuinely do not.
Oh, I'll be doing the double from the couch
Yeah.
on Sunday on that race day.
That
I'll be watching
sounds
both of
like
those races.
us. Yep. I mean, that's the way to do it, you know what I mean? She's making history. We gotta watch it from the comfort of our couches.
I'll be watching both of those races, so I will watch every lap of her attempt at the double.
Amazing. Amazing. You guys want to see something really funny that I just saw? Love me some Buffalo. This dude has
Buffalo.
he has the Buffalo Bills logo shaped. It's
That- yeah, I don't think you're gonna see. I don't know if you're gonna see any other NFL fan do that. I don't know if that's ever gonna get done by
Buffalo
anybody
fans
else.
are built different, guys. I swear. We're just a different breed, okay? Anyway, thank you guys so much
When
for
he
tuning.
looks like he might not have that much hair to begin with,
No,
so he's
I
making the
mean,
best of what he's
exactly.
got.
Apparently, his name is Kevin. Someone commented and said, Kevin is a great dude. Definitely has a unique hairstyle, but a great dude.
Apparently, his name is Kevin. Yeah, if you would have asked me point blank what I thought his name was, that would have been one of the first guesses.
Well, thank you, Kevin, for being such a pioneer in the fandom and mafia. Appreciate you, bro. So thank you guys so much for tuning to this episode of the Climb Together podcast. I have been your host, Tony Scorp, here with my co-host, Deception. Deception, say bye.
Bye.
If you guys did enjoy this episode of the Climb Together podcast, make sure you guys follow us on Twitch where we stream this live every Wednesday at 12 p.m. EST. And then also, if you guys are watching us on YouTube, Twitch, and you want to watch the full episode or maybe a past episode, all of our episodes are on my YouTube channel at Tony Scorp. And go ahead and go over there. If you guys are watching on YouTube, make sure you guys like and subscribe. And we will see you guys next time. Peace.